All right. So, right, we successfully completed our very first trial balance and we balanced, right? We are even, so therefore that means that ensures the accuracy of our accounting. Now, if we misplace an account with another account, that's something that we cannot actually find out. That's just something that you have to just go over your transactions and just make sure if you did do that right. But as far as that, the numbers, the one that we're looking for when we see discrepancies is what numbers did you misplace or what typos you made. You can't really find something that, if you place into the wrong account, you would be able to know, right? Except for if you place it in the wrong account type, yes, you would definitely know. Okay? So now that we are completed with our first week, we're going to go ahead and now get started here with our transaction on the 8th. So it is Saturday, June 8th. I'm sorry, this is the wrong one. It is Saturday, June 8th. Yep. And we decided to go buy a truck. Okay. So here's the details on the truck. Okay. So we purchased the truck from Honest Rob's Auto Shop for a total of $28,900, right? The tax we had to pay on it was $2,340. The documentation fees cost us $968, and we paid a down payment of $2,987. Random amount, but that's what we paid, okay? And then, of course, when we upon making a payment and purchasing a truck, we also got approved of a loan from the Main Bank of Nevada, okay? Account number 12387987665. We got a 3-year loan at 3% interest with a principal interest of payable on the 20th of each month. So again, 3% interest is going to be configured, okay? And of course, usually when you go to the kind of auto dealer shop, they kind of give you this already. They said that the agreement that you signed the contract with is going to be, your monthly payments are going to be $849.81. Okay? So again, low interest, short amount of period of time to pay, but obviously you could see right here it's because the monthly payment is pretty hefty. Okay, so they configured that it's gonna be $849 per month. Okay, to pay off this entire loan. As we learned in chapter 10.2, when we talk about loans, right? This amount of the $841 already includes the interest already in there. So interest is always pre-calculated, and what you're agreeing to is you're going to pay back X amount of dollars for the car plus the payment of the interest. Okay? And of course, so how do we journalize this? We have a few things that we acquired here.
A truck.
Right. We bought a truck. So in this case, I'm going to make my note here. It is the 8th. We bought a truck. Okay. Let's check out our chart of accounts. All right. Do we have a truck?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. 1710 is our truck. Okay. In this case, right? Okay, what else do I have to put in here as well? What else do I need to recognize when I'm journalizing this?
Accounts payable.
not accounts payable. It is a liability, but how did we obtain this liability? What did we get instead of an accounts payable?
Loan.
We got a loan. So in this case, let's take a look at our liabilities. Okay? Liabilities. What is going to be my loan?
$28,000.
28,000 is just my general loans account. Okay? But is there...
No. 28,020.
Yes, in this case, I have other loans that I could take, right? I can take a business loan, but in this case, this is specific. It's a truck loan. So in this case, 2820 is going to be my truck loan. Okay. What else do I need to include? What else do I need to include? Because
The down payment.
you need to include the down payment. Now, in this case, how do you pay for a down payment?
With the checking.
Yes, with a checking account, correct. Okay, so 10, 100. So let's go ahead and figure these numbers out. How much was my down payment? All right, it was $2,987, right? Now in this case, let's configure how much my actual truck is for. Okay, so let me see. So the truck that I originally purchased is for $28,900. I need to include the tax. And I also need to include the document fees. Okay. And of course, I need to also subtract out my down payment because that's not going to be included in the price. Actually, no, sorry. That's your loan. All right, so there you go. So I total everything up. I got $32,208.50 or 90 cents. Okay, 32,208.90. All right. Therefore, how do I figure how much my loan is for? Well, your loan is going to be your 32,208.90 minus your down payment, right? Which gives you, which gives you 29,221.90. That is your truck loan. Okay? So, now that I have all the information I need, right? Let's go ahead and cut the check out because we obviously paid at time. So, let's go to our check register. Okay. It is the 8th. And I paid $2,987. And who did I make this payment to?
To Honest Rob's auto dealership.
Correct. Okay. Honest Rob's auto dealership. So therefore, what check number did I write? 1508. So I have all the information I need, right? Such as I have Honest Rob's auto dealership. Okay. I have loan. So main bank loan, which was a 3% 3-year loan. Okay. And of course, I also have the check that I wrote out, which is check number 1508. Okay. Not necessarily a contract number available or anything like that, but we at least have the loan account number. That's not something you can include that if you'd like. Again, that's up to you. Okay. So there we go. Now that we finished our journal, we now can go into our ledger. Okay. So let's go to our first one, which is our truck. So we finally acquired an asset. Okay. So here you go. Vehicles, truck is here. Right? It is up to you what other information you want to disclose here, such as, well, I bought the truck for, I think it was like 28,900 plus tax, which equaled, I think it was like $2,000. Let's see. It was $2,340.90 plus $968 worth of documentation fees. So 340.90 plus 968 doc fee. Okay. So again, post reference, we're still on our, we just finished up our journal for 32,208.90. We did a truck loan. So here we are. Last page at the bottom here of my liabilities. What can I put in here?
Sorry, go back real quick. When we put on the assets for truck, did we debit or, okay, so it's credit 32. Okay, thanks.
Okay. It's debit. Okay. Under our liabilities, right? We got a 3-year 3% APR. Okay. And you can even include monthly payments of the 800 and $849.81. Okay, that's your monthly payment. Okay, and there you go. Post reference. We are still on the second one, and this time because it's what we owe, it's credited in our journal. So therefore, it's going to be here as a credit to for 2,922,190. Credit side. Okay. And of course, last thing that we did in here was we made a down payment. So in this case, we have the 8th, check number 1508, general journal number 2, and this time we credited our account for $2,987, which, what is my ending balance in my checking account?
Comes up to 7,202.42.
Good. Okay. So there we go. We did our journal. We did our ledger. So now because we dealt with a vendor, right? Let's go ahead and update our information on that side. So subsidiary ledger. First person that we dealt with was Honest Robs, right? Because that's the person who sold the car to me, the truck. Okay? So in this case, Honest Robs right here. Okay? Right? You could put the truck, and then you could say down payment.
What are you on right now?
The subsidiary ledger.
Okay.
Check number 1508. Okay. Now in this case, invoice number, there was no invoice number. Okay. That's fine. You don't have to have one for this one. In this case, general journal number 2. Okay. Terms, again, you bought it at time of service. So this is where you have to pay attention. Now, just because I bought the truck from Honest Robs, right? I'm only going to record the price of the down payment. Because in this case, right, who do I owe for the remaining $29,221.90? Who do I owe?
Main bank.
You owe the bank. You don't own Rob. You don't owe it to Rob. You just only paid for whatever it is that you paid for at the time of the place, right? In this case, right, the monthly payments I am making for this truck loan isn't to Rob. It is to the main bank. So in this case, right, I'm only going to record whatever my down payment agreement was. So in this case, under invoice amount was 2,978, not 2987. And of course, I made a payment using check number 1508. So that should give me an account balance of 0 that I owe to Rob. Okay. Now, for any reason I decided to bring back that car, unfortunately, most cases, you will probably lose your down payment just because the minute you drive off the parking lot, you depreciate it already. The only option that you can do is have a buyback value, but most cases, you end up losing your deposit anyway, or your down payment anyway, because the price that you're going to be valued at if you return the car is going to be significantly lower. Okay? So now I need to go find main bank because now I have a loan with them. Here you go, main bank. So here, I've indicated that this is my main bank account, right? If anything happens to my checking account, right, I'm going to get charged. Now, the second line here is I'm going to go ahead and make a note here that I got a 3-year, 3% interest APR on truck loan monthly payments. Monthly PMT is going to be $849.81. Okay. And that's all the information you need to have there because first off, I haven't received my first bill yet. But I do know this because I was given this piece of information. The monthly payments are going to be due every 20th of the month. Okay? So therefore, I have what's called a date-driven term. That means it is going to be due every single month on the same day. So here's terms. So I'm going to go ahead and write 20th. Okay? So that means your first bill that's going to be due is going to be the next month on the 20th. So July 20th. Okay? Now, of course, invoice number, you could put your account number here. So I believe this account number was, I'm going to put account so you know this. Because that's the account number is going to be what you are going to be using to pay off the loan. So 98765, I think it was. Okay. Account number 123987. Yes. Okay. So that's going to be your invoice number is going to be this right here because this is the account you're going to use to make your monthly payments of the $849.81 per month. In this case, right, we haven't received our bill yet, so there's no need for a date here, okay? Because we don't know what amount that we completely owe as of right now, right? Because it's going to show up, this is what you owe, and then we have to include the interest on top of that. So in this case, my invoice amount is going to be for the $29,221.90. Did I make any payments to it? No. Okay, so in this case, invoice amount minus prepaid minus returns minus discounts minus payments. And my formula says I owe $29,221.90. Okay. And that right there is my bank loan, or in this case, truck loan. Okay. Any questions here?
No.
No.
Okay. So now that we finish our page 2, we are now on page 3. And let's see what happened next. Okay. Purchase order number 17305 to All Things Ceramics. Okay. And here we're going to buy a total of 80 ceramic coffee mugs. Each one is going to be $2.45 per mug. So in this case, we're buying 80 of them for a grand total of $186. Okay. This time, they require a $100 down payment. Okay. So in this case, right, we talked about this. The difference between a deposit is you're going to get your money back. In this case, because I'm making a payment in advance, we're going to treat this as a prepaid account. Okay? So, in this case, right, I am buying something, right? I'm buying inventory, right? That's exactly what the coffee mugs is going to be considered an inventory item, okay? Now, in this case, I am just making a down payment. So, how am I going to journalize this transaction?
You're gonna put coffee mugs in the down payment.
So, in this case, right, I'm just ordering my coffee mugs. Did I receive my coffee mugs?
Oh, no. Oops.
Mm.
No. Just go to purchase order then.
Oh, okay. So, in this case, right, I'm required to have a down payment for this purchase order. So, I do need to journalize something because I'm making an advance payment to something that I'm going to be purchasing.
Oh, so just a down payment on the ceramic.
Correct, but what account am I going to be using?
Checking and all things ceramic.
Is there an account called All Things Ceramics?
Would you use accounts payable or?
In this case, not an accounts payable.
Prepaid?
Yes, prepaid, right? For QuickBooks, yes, you would use a accounts payable account, but in this case, we're not going to do that. Okay, so yes, so it's going to be prepaid accounts. And we have checking. Okay. Prepaid account should be 18,600 and 10,100 for the checking. How much is my down payment for?
$100.
$100. So therefore, we need to go to our check register to find our check number. So in this case, it's the 8th, and we are making $100 payment to All Things Ceramics. Okay. So then 1509 is our check number. Okay. We have our purchase order number right here. Okay. So once again, I have all the information I need, right? I have the vendor, All Things Ceramics. Okay. I have purchase order number 17305. Okay. $100 down payment. Down pay for mugs. Okay. And of course the check number 1509. Okay. So before we go on anywhere else, I need to create my purchase order. So then when I do receive the items, I can match them against the items that I have received versus what I've requested. So in this case, purchase order number 305. I bought this from All Things Ceramics. Okay. I bought 80 mugs for a total of $196. Okay. So now let's go ahead and put in this into my ledger account. So under assets, okay, first thing I did was I had a prepaid account, right? I put down payment on my purchase order. Here you go. I think this is prepaid accounts right here. Okay. Okay. General journal number 3, because we started a new one, and it was for $100. So therefore, right, I should now have $7,926 in my prepaid accounts. Okay. I also need to go update my checking account because I wrote out a check for that amount. So check number 1509, general journal number 3, and I subtracted $100. So therefore, I should now have 7102.42. Okay. So then, of course, I dealt with a vendor, right? I paid somebody so they owe me some coffee mugs. Okay? So therefore, I need to go to my subsidiary ledger to be able to update that I dealt with the customer. I dealt with the vendor owes me something. So here we go. Top of the page, it is the 8th, right? You ordered 80 mugs, down payment with a check number 1509. Okay, invoice number, it's going to be your purchase order number because in this case, right, we haven't received the bill yet, but our only proof of the transaction that required us to pay that $100 down payment, right, they said that, hey, if you want me to ship you out 80 coffee mugs, you need to put a down payment. Our only proof of that transaction is going to be through our purchase order itself. Right? Post reference, once again, general journal number 3. We haven't received a bill yet, so there's no terms. Okay? Prepaid amounts. In this case, I'm going to show you how to use this one. But in this case, right, the purchase order basically said we were billed $100 because they required the deposit to be for $100. And of course, I also made a payment to it because I used check number 1509 as proof that I paid for it. So if I run my formula once again, I'm going to get 0, right? Because right now I don't owe All Things Ceramics, right? They owe me. And I'll show you what to do when we receive the bill here, okay? I'll show you how we configure the table in a few moments when we receive a bill, okay? So there we go. We did our purchase order, right? We did our journal. We fulfilled our ledger. Then we updated the subsidiary ledger to record that down payment. Okay. So then let's see what has happened next. Okay. Okay, we're still on June 8th, Saturday. We finally received something from the furniture store for invoice number 75, and it's for the 10 sets of 1 bistro table and 2 chairs, okay? So here's the detail in regards to the actual tables and chairs, Okay. Now in this case, right, I received a bill. So my assumption here is I am going to record the bill and say I'm not going to pay now, I'm going to pay later. So in this case, what accounts or how am I going to journalize this? How am I going to journalize that acquire tables and chairs?
You start with a debit with the account. Where is it? I guess Bristol tables and chairs, and then okay. Um, credit on checking account 6,605.
Now, did I pay with my check? Did I pay for it?
I don't think so.
In this case, right, when I received a bill, my assumption is I got other things I have to pay for first. So in this case, I'm going to save and hold off this bill until later. So in this case, how many days do I have to pay for this stuff?
15.
We have another net 15. So let's go ahead and locate my tables and chairs, furniture, bistros, tables and chairs. So account number 1310. Okay, and of course we're going to put it on accounts payable. So bistro, tables, and chairs. Okay, account number 1310. And of course, I'm going to be associating this with an accounts payable since I owe money. Okay. So in this case, how much is in grand total my bistro, tables, and chairs?
Six $6,605.08.
Correct, right? In this case, I have to include the tax and the shipping for the tables and chairs. Okay, so 6,605.08, and in this case, right, it's already ready for service, right? Tables and chairs. There's maybe there's assembly, then you just put it together, right? But in this case, right, each set comes with ready to go, already. Just set them up, put them on your in the store, and it's ready to go. Okay, so there you go. No installation required. So we have all the information that we need, right? We received a bill from furniture store. Okay, this was invoice number 75. Okay. And of course, I'm going to make sure that I say that the bill is due in 15 days. Okay. So let's go ahead and pop this into my ledger. Okay. So I acquired more assets. So in this case, I got tables and chairs. Oh, here it is. Bistro tables and chairs. Okay. It's up to you what you want to put here. So in this case, I'm going to write 10 sets of 1 table and 2 chairs. Okay, and you could say your total cost here for that amount was $6,055.50 plus $499.58 of tax. Plus $50 shipping. I put 68, not 58. There you go. And invoice post reference is going to be General Journal number 3. And I got all of this for $6,605.08. Okay. Okay. So then, of course, I didn't pay for it now. I decided to owe them money. Okay. So 6/8. This is invoice number 75. General Journal number 3. And I owe $6,605.08, which then brings me up to $10,033.75. So in this case, not doing so good because now we owe a whole bunch of money. But this is very typical of getting your business started. You have to make all of these expenses. You have to purchase everything in order for you to have your store open. Okay? So there we go. All right. And now we need to do our subsidiary ledger because we received a bill from furniture store. So locate your furniture store. Here we are. Because we received our 10 sets of bistro tables. Okay. In this case, invoice number 75. General Journal number 3. We also got another net 15. So in this case, what is my actual due date for this bill?
The 30th.
The 23rd, because it's 15 days.
Oh, yeah. Whoops.
No worries, okay? So then, my invoice amount that I owe is $6,605.08. So therefore, again, if I didn't make any payments to this, or any down payments to this, it's going to show me that I owe $6,000 for this bill, giving me a grand total of $9,033.75. Okay? All right? That's how much I owe to furniture store. Okay. Last thing that we need to make a note here is, did we receive our items? Yes, we did. So update your purchase order saying, yes, I received my tables and chairs. Okay, it was for a grand total the invoice for 75. Okay, so here I'm still pending on my coffee brewer and coffee grinder and my 80 mugs that I am purchasing for inventory. Okay, so there we have that invoice there. So then let's go ahead and see what happened next. Now it says that here it's finally skipped over a couple of days, right? Or so we skipped Sunday. Sunday we didn't work. So now it's following Monday. It is June 10. And it says here we must pay Miss Kim Robinson because she billed us 3 days ago, right? She billed us on the 7th, right? And she said that this bill is due in 3 days. So what do you know? We must pay her $1,000 to Kim Robinson. Okay? Now, in this case, right, how do I know how much I actually owe Miss Kim Robinson and how do I know what my information is in regarding to this transaction? How do I know?
We posted it to our liabilities.
We posted to our liabilities. Let's check our liabilities. Okay? In this case, right, I only put invoice numbers. In this case, do I know which one belongs to which one?
No, that's not the one. Okay, so what about, isn't she under vendors then?
Should be under the subsidiary ledger under vendors. Correct, right? So, okay. So, if I go ahead and click vendors and I look for Robinson Kim, because it's going to be last name first because she's an independent contractor. Robinson Kim. Here she is. Robinson Kim was billed on the 7th for interior design. Here's the invoice number that proves that the transaction has happened, right? Saying that she billed us using invoice number 1542. And it says right here that we have 3 days to pay, so that means June 10th is our date, and we owe her $1,000. So again, your subsidiary ledger is a very powerful thing because it allows you to see who you owe and how much you owe and exact details of what that invoice entails. Okay, so for example, right here, right, it tells you you were billed because she did some interior designing. Okay, so, or interior design consulting. So in this case, right, how do I pay for what I owe? How do I journalize this transaction if I have to pay Kim Robinson $1,000?
Checking.
Checking. And what else?
Do you put her name?
In this
No,
case,
no.
is her name and an account?
Count payable.
Right. We're paying for what we owe. Right? And when we owe something, it's a liability, right? And in this
Yes.
case, we place it as an accounts payable. Okay, accounts payable. And we're going to pay $1,000 to Miss Kim Robinson. Okay? So, how are we going to pay her? If we're using our checking account, how are we paying her?
By check what
Yep.
number?
Yep, there you go. So, it is June 10. We're paying $1,000 to Miss Kim Robinson. Okay. So then we got check number 1510. Okay. So now we have all the information we need to fulfill this description. So in this case, right, we wrote a check to Miss Kim Robinson. Okay. This was for the invoice number 1542 because that's what she billed us with. Okay. And of course, we're paying with check number 1510. Do we need to disclose why we're paying her? No, because we already journalized it on the 7th that she charged us with this bill for interior designing, right? We already know what she charged us for, and we have every other, like the ledger, and we have the subsidiary ledger to tell us exactly why we got charged for this. Okay? So again, you don't need to add extra details if it's not pertinent to the transaction when you already did it in multiple places. Okay, so there you go. Now this one makes a clear transaction saying, I'm paying Kim Robinson because I owe her and I paid her using check number 1510. That's all you need to know, and I'm paying the invoice that she billed me for, which is 1542. Okay. So now that that is complete, right? Now we need to update our ledger accounts because now we have affected our accounts payable, right? In this case, we paid off for something that we owe. So in this case, you could say here, invoice number 1542, but then you can say payment check number 1510. So then instead of saying I put my invoice number there, right? This is saying that I paid using a check number. All right? General journal number 3. And this time it's on the debit side. It's on the debit side for $1,000. So therefore, right, a debit is going to decrease my liability, telling me that I'm going to have $10,033.75. I'm going to decrease it by 1,000 to give me now $9,033.75. Okay? So that's how this works right here. And now I also need to update my checking account because I had to spend money. So in this case, I need to reduce my checking account by $1,000. So again, because I wrote check number 1510, general journal number 3, I need to decrease my account by $1,000, putting it on the credit side to go from $7,102.42 down to $6,102.42. So here I am shrinking a lot of the money in my checking account. Okay? All right. Right? So then, of course, I also have to update my subsidiary ledger because I no longer owe Kim Robinson anything anymore. I need to update my account accordingly. Now, in this case, right, you do have two choices. You can go ahead and edit this line right here and say, I made a payment. I'm going to go ahead and put $1,000 here. But in this case, this does not tell me any information of when I paid, how I paid, what I used to pay with, and etc., etc. So what I'm going to encourage you guys to do is I want you to do a separate line for the next transaction because in this case, right, I can put as much details in here instead of having to edit my information that's already there. I can go ahead and put a line item saying, well, it is the 10th now, right? I paid using check number 1510 for the invoice number 1542. And this time, my payment is on General Journal number 3. It's not on Journal 2. I don't have terms, obviously. And in this case, all I have to do is fill out my payment column, right? Because here it says I owe 1,000. Here I'm just making a straight payment. So what this is going to do is with that formula that I had in here, it's going to record a negative $1,000. So then, therefore, my total column says that what is 1,000 minus 1,000? It's going to give you 0. Okay? And this is what I want you to do instead of having to squeeze all that information in that first line there, editing all that information. This shows me that I have a trail of transaction with Kim Robinson, right? Here, number 1 was I received a bill. Number 2 was I paid the bill. Okay? So that's what I want you to do from here on out. This is the way that I want you to use the subsidiary ledger is for every transaction that occurs with a particular vendor, you're going to insert a new line for every transaction. So at least you have a trail of what is going on. And you can add a bunch of information that is new without editing the old information. Okay? So that's how I pay my bill. Any questions?
No.
Okay.
Teacher,
Yes.
we don't need to put the new column for balance to be zero balance.
Your balance is at the very bottom. The gray bar right there is your balance. That's your account balance. Right? Because if I didn't have this, if I didn't fill this in, right? My balance at the bottom, oh, okay, I guess this one, it just shows it's 0. So equals sum. It's supposed to show me that I right now have $1,000 that I owe Kim Robinson. But because if I add that extra column saying filling that in, it's telling me I paid the bill for $1,000. So therefore, down below in my gray column, in my gray row right here, tells me I owe Kim Robinson nothing. So right there is your account balance. Yes? Okay. So that is it for Kim Robinson. Okay. So then, let's see what happened next. Okay. So now this tells you that National Bank finally approved of a business credit card, okay? They gave you a Visa credit card, okay? And it gave you a $10,000 credit limit, okay? And here's the agreement terms, okay? It is going to charge you 18% interest on end of the balances. So again, 18% is an annual percentage rate, okay? So it's 18% per year, not 18% every single time you get charged interest. No, it's an annual percentage rate, APR. Okay? So again, it's going to be at the end of the month's balances. Again, payments are due at the on every single 10th of the month. Okay? So once again, you received a credit limit for $10,000 with an 18% APR on overdue balances. So in this case, right? Do I need to record this transaction?
No.
Why?
You can put it down as information, but nothing is being used. It's not being used or anything at all. So you can.
Correct, right? In this case, it is a condition, right? We're given $10,000, right? But is that money ours? Not necessarily. right? The condition is we have to spend it and then we have to pay interest on it. So in this case, we need to record this information somewhere, right? That we have a credit card and the details in regards to what I'm expected to come from it and what my credit limit is. But in this case, right, I haven't used my credit card yet. I just got approved of it, got it in the mail, haven't used it yet. So in this case, I don't have an account balance, so therefore, I'm not going to get charged interest because nothing comes out of it, right? So in this case, what we have to do is we need to put this in our subsidiary ledger, okay? Because this is a credit card from National Bank, okay? So let's go to my subsidiary ledger, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and locate National Bank company, the vendor. So we have Main Bank, here you go, NV Utilities, National Bank Visa Gold Card, okay? So, no date necessary because we haven't received a bill. But the information that we need to say is we have a credit limit of $10,000, okay? And then we have 18% APR on overdue balances at end of month, okay? And we haven't received a bill yet, but we at least know this, that it is going to be due on the 10th of every month. So another date-driven type of term. It's due on the 10th of every single month. Okay? Right? So then, now we finally received our coffee mugs. Now let's take a look at this. We received our ceramic coffee mugs. It is periodic weighted average inventory. So here's the information here, right? We purchased it for 80 ceramic coffee mugs at $2.45 each, right? Giving us a grand total of $196. Here's your subtotal. We had a down payment that went against the bill, and it came out to a total of $96, but we got charged freight of $100, so now our total amount due is $196. So in this case, a lot is going on. Let's go ahead and figure out how we journalize this in the first place, because this is periodic inventory, okay? How do we journalize periodic inventory? How do we journalize periodic inventory?
Once in a while.
Okay, but how do we journalize it?
Ceramic moga this inventory and credit prepaid and account
Okay, now in this case, right, this is periodic inventory. What do we always recognize periodic inventory as?
As a purchase expense.
We recognize it as a purchase expense. So in this case, right, purchase expense is going to be what I'm going to journalize, purchase expense, okay? Now let's take a look in our chart of accounts. Do we have a purchase expense account?
61.
6100. Okay, good. Now in this case, is there freight that we have to pay?
Yes.
So therefore, we must separate our freight expense. Okay? And let's take a look at our chart of accounts. What account number is our freight expense?
6,300.
6,300. Okay? Okay? And just like what Maggie said, we have to credit a prepaid account, and we have accounts payable since we're not going to pay it yet. We're going to place it on an account. So in this case, right, let's go ahead and fill in my numbers here. Okay? So, how much was my total purchase price?
196.
196. Okay? How much was my freight?
100.
100. How much was my prepaid account?
100.
100. So therefore, how much is my bill telling me that I owe?
196.
196. And there you go. My debits and my credits match 100%. Okay? So in this case, now I need to go ahead. I have everything that I need to properly finish out my journal, right? Okay? In this case, who did I receive this from? All Things Ceramics. Ceramics, okay? What invoice number is this?
126.
Yes, invoice number 126. Okay? Where was I given terms?
Net 20.
Net 20, but I also was given an opportunity for a discount. So if I paid within 10 days, I would get a 1% discount. Okay? And that should be good enough information in regards to this, right? Because I can pull up this information and be able to see that, yes, I had a down payment. Okay? So there you go. I finished my journal, so let's go ahead and update our ledger accounts. So, first thing I have here is a purchase expense. Okay, so purchase expense. Purchase expense. Okay. We bought 80 coffee mugs, right? It's up to you if you want to put price points at $2.45 each. Okay. Post reference, once again, general journal number 3. Okay. And I got it for 196. Okay. You can also do 245 times 80 and get the same number there too. Okay. Just to ensure that the math there is correct. Okay. And I'm going to format this real quick. Okay. We dealt with a freight expense, right? So here we are, freight expense. Okay. For ship of 80 mugs. Okay. Whoops. I have no. Okay, sorry. Whoa. Go back up. There you go. General journal number 3. Okay. Debit $100. Okay, so $100. Okay. We had a prepayment account, right? Because we're going to apply it. So treat the prepayment like a voucher. Okay. And now that we have the invoice, right, we're going to apply the prepayment on there. So in this case, there you go, prepaid accounts. What I'm going to say here is I'm going to go ahead and apply down pay on mugs to invoice number 126. So there you go, General Journal 3. And because I'm applying the down payment, I'm going to credit the account for 100 to bring it now back down to $7,826.04. Okay. Okay. And of course, last but not least, right, because we received a bill, we are now going to also increase my liabilities, right? So in this case, we're going to increase it because I received invoice number 126 on my General Journal 3. And because I'm going to increase my liability by 196, I'm going to get a grand total now of $9,229.75. Okay. All right. Okay. Before we move on to the next section, I do want you to go into your purchase orders because I need to check mark that I received my inventory items. And in this case, yes, I did. I received my purchase order from All Things Ceramics for the 80 mugs for 196, and I received that with a invoice of 126. Okay. So now that I updated my journal and I updated my ledger, I now need to go ahead and update my subsidiary ledger because I received a bill from All Things Ceramics and now I owe them money. So, subsidiary ledger, go all the way up to the top here. And this is how I want you to apply your prepayment. Okay? So in this case, I'm going to say that it is June 10. I received 80 coffee mugs, okay, and applied down payment, okay. Now in this case, right, my invoice now is 126. My general journal is page 3. And I have terms now. I have a 1% term if I pay within 10 days. If not, I have to pay in 20. So that means I have a discount due date. What is my discount due date going to be?
In 20.
If I paid on the 20th, I'm going to receive a 1% discount. If not, when is the entire bill actually due?
And the 30th.
Correct. It's going to be due at the end of the month. Okay? So now this is where I apply my prepayment, right, of $100. What was my actual invoice amount if I did not apply my $100 down payment, right? If my purchase price was $196 plus $100 to shipping, therefore my original invoice amount was for the $296. But because I had a prepaid account, right? I paid a down payment. This is how your accounts payable is going to reflect. It's going to say that now you owe all things ceramics $196, which is correct because that's what your billing statement said. It said you were invoiced for $196. So once again, we recognize what the original amount was for. Then we applied our down payment of $100. So then now that's going to show me that I only owe $196 left. Okay. Any questions on how to fill out the subsidiary ledger?
No.
Okay. Now, last but not least, we purchased inventory. Okay. We purchased inventory. So, therefore, we are now going to be introducing you to a new worksheet called the inventory worksheet, right? So, in this case, we have periodic inventory. So, sorry, my window doesn't seem to be pulling down. Okay, so my inventory worksheet. Okay. So down here I have 3 worksheets in here, or 3, worksheets in here, right? I have my regular coffee, supreme coffee, and my ceramic coffee mugs. Okay, so there you go. Now I need to fill out the date that I received my coffee mugs. In this case, I received them on June 10. How much did I receive? I received 80 of them, costing $2.45 each. So if I multiply them across, it's for $196. Okay, but I also have to take into factor that I also had shipping to also attach to the cost of my item. So in this case, I had a freight of $100. So then my total cost here is going to give me $296. Now this is if you want to for practice purposes only, right? Since it's the first batch of inventory, right? We need to figure out what my average cost is, because in this case right now, that is what I'm doing. I'm doing weighted average. I'm not doing FIFO or LIFO, so I don't need to have batches of inventory. However, this is the very first batch, so my assumption is I need to know how much it's going to cost me per item. So my cost per item is going to be my total $296 divided by 80, and that's going to give me a total of $3.70. Okay? All right, and this is the first time we're using our inventory worksheet. We will be purchasing regular and supreme coffee soon. So that means from here on out, when we actually start opening our stores, we are going to be using our inventory worksheet quite often and quite frequently. Okay? So any questions here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do here is let's go ahead and enter this last transaction here, and I think we're going to call it a day, and we'll continue on the rest of the scenario tomorrow, okay? So let's go ahead and start with this one right here. So we did a purchase order for 3006 to Atlas Coffee Importers. So here we're buying inventory once again. We're buying regular coffee and we're buying Supreme coffee. This time you're going to receive 125 pounds of regular coffee, and you're also going to be purchasing 125 pounds of Supreme coffee. Those are the cost per unit, so in grand total, it's for $362.50. So in this case, this is a simple purchase order. So in this case, right, do I need to journalize it? No. All I'm doing here is I'm just requesting that I buy these inventory items. So, purchase order, it is the 10 still, okay? And I bought this from Atlas Coffee Importers, okay? All right. What did I buy? I bought 250 pounds coffee. Do you have to be specific? It is up to you. If you want to say 125 of regular, 125 of Supreme. I'm just getting the overall saying I should have at least 250 pounds worth of coffee for a total 362.50. Okay. So I am pending on this order to come in, and other than that, we will stop here and we'll continue this on because this part's actually going to take a long time. Okay. So other than that, any other questions in regards to Coffee Cafe so far?